And we are here, G5, baby, the 5th season of the Gauntlet. I know some of y'all may have watched Picked Off 2 nights ago, and then since then, a game has happened. Those of y'all who missed it, the Eagles did beat the Cowboys 24-20 last night after an hour and 4 minute. Was it an hour and 4 minute? An hour and 4 minute long rain delay, but the Eagles got it done. There's probably going to be a few statements about this in this broadcast. I am Denzel Snipes. The guy right to the right of me on the screen is James Tatum. Right below him is DeRubeis, and to the next, trying to get his shit together, is JJ Jenkins, who, as of before the show, refuses to grow cornrows. So, how's it doing? How you doing, fellas? What's going
on? Absolutely not.
I can't even after that.
You have lost your mind.
Hey, who's on that shirt, JJ?
For some, this is the season premiere.
Wait, say that again?
I said, shouldn't we be a little more fired up than this? This is the season premiere.
Hey, I mean, this is the beginning of it.
Do we have any cliffhangers to answer from last season? I don't believe so.
Dom, we old, bro. Chill, we old. What you mean? I'm old.
There's no excitement.
JJ talking like he's 45. He talking like he's 45, man. But
what's wrong with being 45?
Ain't nothing wrong with being 45. I said JJ's talking like 45.
It's okay.
His shirt says not today.
No one says not
His
today.
His shirt literally says not today, so.
Yeah, I know.
There you go.
But, Dom, there's nothing wrong with being 45, dude. Growing old is part of life.
It's okay. You can say it. I know.
What do you think?
I like being 45? Fuck no, I don't. I'd rather be 25 or 35 or 40 or 41 or 42 or 43 or even 44, but not 45.
Dude, I'll be 43 next week. I have no issue with it. Midlife crisis, Dom.
I forgot.
Midlife crisis, Dom. All right, everyone, before we get started, be sure and check us out on all of our socials on YouTube, Facebook. Of course, you watch us on YouTube right now, Facebook, X, or if you want to call it Twitter if you're a bit old school, Instagram, and we also have two TikToks on TikTok, Sideline Sports and Sideline One Sports. And check out all of our great shows, Sideline Sports Show, of course, The Gauntlet, Picked Off, Talk with Dave DeRubeis and Walter Thurman III, The Sports Insiders, and a whole lot more. Our guys at First and 56, the Indianapolis Post Show, Terrible Talk that covers the Pittsburgh Steelers, and much, much more. So, fellas, let's get right into it. We know.
We have a Steelers show?
Yeah, it's called Terrible Talk. You didn't know this?
No. Sounds gross. Why? Apparently, we have one or more hosts that are Steelers fans, I guess, and we think that there's a market for it.
8 and 9.
Well, I mean, pretty much the market for it is out in Pittsburgh, but
the Steelers are the new Saints.
That's a bit of a. You know what? We'll talk about that when we get to the divisional predictions. But Bacon Question, I'm 30 with an 80-year-old memory. All right, well, let's get on to our sports morons of the week. The most egregious actions and takes from the sports world. I know it's been about a minute. There's been a lot that has gone on in the sports world between the end of the last season and now. But we'll go ahead and just say that it doesn't even have to be from the past week. Just between the end of season 4 and season 5, it's whatever it is anyone's got to get off their chest. James, you got anything?
Yeah, right off the bat. Dak Prescott, because I know other people are going to get on here and talk about Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter got rage baited last night, spit on Dak, got ejected immediately to start the game. But the broadcasters didn't even show the full sequence of what happened, and that's really what I have an issue with.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to make a narrative about Jalen Carter being, not the best locker room guy, does some crazy stuff on the field. Great player, but he has a temper. So they were saying all this stuff about Jalen Carter the whole entire game. And then right after the rain delay started, then they showed that Dak was actually talking to him first, and spit towards him first, and kind of initiated it. Again, you got to keep your emotions in check, but making this whole thing about Jalen Carter without having the full context, that's what I have an issue with. So I just think Dak starting it as sports moron worthy and the NBC broadcast, making everything about Jalen Carter, and then way after the fact, then you show it instead of showing it from the start.
Yeah, and that pretty much goes with the whole thing where you have to get the full story before. I mean, I get initially about it, but at the same time, you do have to find out what all happened before giving the full-blown report at times. It's kind of what we are tasked to do as sports media. But no, understandably so, in the perception being that he spit in his directions first, so he responded. But I mean, we all know how it works. It's going to be the biggest story, one of the biggest stories of the weekend. But, we'll send it down to Dom. Dom, you got a sports moron of the week?
That James's was kind of mine too. I was going to say specifically the referee for not, because if he saw the Carter spit, he saw the Dak spit. So if you're going to throw one of them out, you throw them both out. If you throw a guy out for spitting, you need to throw out the other guy that spit as well. But, Unfortunately, I mean, I'm not sure why, because it's not like he's had a whole lot of success. But Dak, by and large, is still kind of a media darling. He's a leader, and he's a grown-up, and he's good with the media. Like, this was a really bad look for him and the team, and, Lord knows they've had more than their fair share of those just in the last week or so, which we'll get to later. But it's just like, because I saw I saw the full replay afterwards, but as soon as I saw, because I saw it happen live, but I glanced away. I literally looked at the TV right when it happened, and my first thought was either Dak said something way out of pocket, which we may never know what all he did or didn't say, or because it's like you don't just spit on a guy for no reason. Now, right. I get it. Dak's the vet. Jalen Carter's the younger player. He probably should have tried to keep it in check. But, a lot of us, especially, in the heat of battle, granted it was early in the game, if someone spit on me, I'm probably going to spit on them back. Or I'm going to go snatch them up, shake them by their helmet, and then spit on them. Because if I'm going to get thrown out of the game, I'm going to make it worth my own while.
It's make it worth it, yeah.
But, yeah, that was just silly. And... yeah, I don't like it. And I don't like the Cowboys, and I don't like Dak Prescott. I don't like that referee. And I don't like that Jalen Carter got singled out because that was a retaliatory spit. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, that's where I'm at.
No, totally understandable. And then, JJ, your thoughts about this? Or do you you have a sports moron? Is it related to this, or is it related to something else?
No, I mean, I pretty much echo the same sentiments you guys. It just was a bad situation all around. I just, hope they just got to make better decisions moving forward. And Dak's got to also realize that just because you got away with this time doesn't mean you're not going to get away with it next time. So it's focused on the fact that you should probably focus on other things than just continuing to go and trash talk, because it looks like an NFL has made it known that they're going to be cracking down on things that can turn into potential situations. And so just you didn't win the game, but that's not going to, you don't want to have that mentality coming into a playoff game and then boom, your team is suffering because you knew the offense was going to show, but
you won't have to worry about any playoff games coming anytime soon. Well, you don't need to worry there, Rain Dakota.
So that's, a matter of your personal opinion, but we don't know because the season hasn't started. The games haven't taken effect. But if they were to get to a playoff situation, you don't want to have that idea that you should the whole point about, they always stress it, is that you want to cut down the mental errors. And that was a mental error. Dak, you got away with it. Jalen, you didn't get a chance to get away with it. But even still, it's a bad situation all around.
Straw poll. If you think the Cowboys are making the playoffs, raise your hand. I didn't think so.
I don't know.
I'm not asking you to. No one knows. I said, do you think?
But my thing is, this was more so just about the conversation, the whole puzzle scenario. It's not predicting. You're focusing on your personal opinion. I was like, I get that, but that wasn't any reason what I was even relating to what I was talking about.
Yeah, we'll actually get to that in just a little bit. I think what he was what he was alluding to was should the Dallas Cowboys make the playoffs. It's something that you don't necessarily want to do. I echo the same sentiments as well. You know what? My sports moron is actually kind of mixed into the next topic because it was some shit that Jerry Jones, that, as usual, because he loves being in the spotlight and he loves doubling down on his shit, and even when he's backpedaling. But you know what? Hell, we'll just go ahead and go right into it. Our next topic. So linebacker Micah Parsons was traded to the Green Bay Packers for defensive lineman Kenny Clark and 2 first-round picks. Parsons then went on to sign a 4-year, $188 million contract with the Packers upon the trade. That is now the biggest non-quarterback contract in history, from what I understand. And now here's where the sports moron Jerry Jones bullshit is mixed in, because he apparently said after last night's game, we were one impact player on defense away from winning that game.
Nah.
I wonder.
No, he didn't say that. That's a meme.
It was just a meme? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just making sure.
Sounds like something he would say, though.
But to be fair, him being senile,
funny,
but you know what? Here, we'll go this way, because I said that Jerry Jones is the master at kind of doubling down on his own shit and backpedaling and so forth. And he made a decision and he's going to stick to it. But in my humble opinion, this is your best defensive player. You just let go. His presence was sorely missed last night. Whether the Cowboys were going to lose that game or not, his presence was sorely missed last night. It is apparent. And if the Eagles gave him fits, what's going to happen when they face everybody else? Because who's the next best defender on that squad?
Let me ask you this. If Parsons is still a Cowboy, do the Cowboys win that game? I think they might have.
I don't think so.
It wasn't a lack of, Micah Parsons wasn't the one out there.
Probably the game will be different because they have people covered up and then Jalen Hurts was taken off. So that Micah, I don't think he would be escaping the pocket that much. But still, it doesn't matter. He's your best defensive player, and you can bring up the argument against him. And Jerry Jones also brought this up that they need to stop the run. So that's why they get Kenny Clark.
Yeah.
But still, you need to stop the run, and you need to be able to get to the quarterback. You saw what the Eagles' pass rush was doing in the Super Bowl to the Chiefs. That's how you win a Super Bowl. You get to the quarterback, you have pass rushers that can do that, and Dallas doesn't really have any to speak of. So I don't really think this trade made them better. They do get the 2 first-round picks. Green Bay gets an impact player, and I think it's a good move for them because they improve their roster. They add to a pretty good defense that they have already, and it does close the gap a little bit. Not to the extent where I would be willing to pick them over the Lions. I still think the Lions are the better team in the division, but when you're looking at the Eagles, when you're looking at the Lions and all these teams in NFC, you got to do something to try to, put yourself in the mix there. So I think that's what Green Bay did. And
you mean like Green Bay did? You mean
it's
like
a good
y'all
move for
did?
them.
We didn't do shit. But have you seen Hutch? And we got Davenport.
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys, and mind you, they did sign cornerback DeRon Bland to a 4-year, $92 million contract with $50 million guaranteed. I'm guessing that's who they think is their next best player. If Trevion Diggs, who already has kind of an injury history now, So, but needless to say, I mean, Micah Parsons' presence definitely would have been there last night. Do I think that they still would have won the game? No, but they would have had a better chance to win the game. And we're only going to see as the season goes on just how much, especially since, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's the 4th week. I think it's week 4. The Packers come to AT&T.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
And this is a team
that be watching that game.
And this is a team that already owns Dallas. So yeah, we're really about to see a rainstorm of things to come. But I'll drop it down to Dom and get your thoughts about this trade Yo, just go ahead and take it.
This whole kerfluffle, which ended up resulting in a trade, this goes back several months. Micah started bitching about wanting a new contract. It seems like in like April or May. You know, he runs his mouth a lot. He's got his podcast every week. He put out that lengthy, I can't remember if it was Instagram or Twitter, but basically like a 2-page rant, just bitching pretty much. And then after that, you had Jerry Jones trying to pull him into private meetings and not allowing his agent to be there, to where he's trying to talk down the number and, you know, sell Micah Parsons on, you know, the Cowboy brand, whatever the fuck that is anymore. Is that the same brand that's got an empty trophy case this century? That brand? And ultimately, I think Micah just got fed up. And I'm of a mind that says Jerry Jones offered him more than that 188 for 4. I think he offered him like $200 million for 4. And Micah was like, fuck you, I'm out. I'll get plenty of money wherever you trade me to. Get me the fuck out of here. I want to win a ring, and I know I'm not going to do it here. And fuck you, Jerry. I hate you. And I agree with all of that.
I think the problem is Jerry did offer him like the highest APY, but he did not offer him on the guaranteed side.
Yeah.
And not letting the agent negotiate anything, that was also a red flag. So
true.
Yeah, and that's been the thing.
I'm with Mike on this one.
That's been the thing with several of the last contract negotiations and ultimately re-signings. It hasn't necessarily been about the per year amount. It's been about the guaranteed money. Like Trey Hendrickson was willing to take considerably less than, say, what TJ Watt got. Like, they weren't very far apart, the Bengals and Hendrickson. They weren't far apart at all on money. It was the guaranteed money. And obviously Cincinnati has already shown a propensity in the recent past with their whole kerfluffle with their draft pick about guaranteed money. And it's like, I side with the players on this. Like, do I think that all players make more money than they should? Yes. Do I fault them for wanting more guaranteed money? No, I do not, because your career could end at any time. And if you get hurt, they will terminate your contract, which means you don't get dick other than what you were guaranteed when you signed it.
Yeah, every player is one play away. We've been, everyone's been told this since pretty much middle school. Everyone is one play away. I will never be mad at somebody getting their money, even as much as we may say, oh, well, they clearly overpaid that guy, right? As far as the actual dude, listen, look, I've never played a day of professional football in my life. But if some team wants to give me, $50 million, now, of course, everyone else might say, well, they overpaid him. I mean, he's never even played. Am I exactly going to give that money back? Fuck no. And no one else on this panel would either. Get yours. Get your money. Get your money. And then when it's time, get out of there. Because it goes a little more than the game. It's about generational wealth. It's about creating that will create more avenues down the line when your playing days are done. There's a reason why, what does they say in the NBA? Even in the NBA, it's the average player. The average player is broke 5 years after leaving the league.
Mm-hmm.
So get as much money as you can. Be smart with your money. Not having 10 baby mamas kind of helps that shit too. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And besides the no fun league, what is the other thing that the NFL stands for?
Not for long.
Correct.
JJ, your thoughts about this trade, buddy?
So number one, I don't think it's in anything. I don't think the money part is the biggest thing. And I think he showed you that by signing it. I think we don't touch on the topic of it because it's more about the fact, and I've always said this about him, when he made that comment, he wants to win. He doesn't care anything about other things. He wants to win because that's what he signed up for. And then he had Jerry Jones, who did not address his agent by his name at all. And then the way he has been talking, Micah didn't ever had, I don't think Micah had any intentions of ever signing with Dallas at all. And I think that is ultimately what made Jerry so mad to be on the way that he is, because he basically just told Jerry, it doesn't matter what you think you are. I know what I want to do. And so I'm going to do whatever is necessary to get there. He still showed up to training camp because, he doesn't want to lose his check because he still has to survive. But I do think ultimately Jerry got humbled and he is reacting. Now, at the same time, with that said, I don't look at this trade anywhere close to anybody thinks this does. I don't look at it anywhere close. I've actually had fun conversations about it at work because I understand both teams did exactly what they needed to do. Dallas knew they were never going to sign this guy again. He was unhappy, and it was deteriorating people in the locker room. Yes, you can talk about Jerry, you can talk about everything all you want, but the fact of the matter is it doesn't necessarily guarantee that a team can't make a trade that may look bad, but actually turn out good for them. So we don't know if it's going to happen. I think we often do declarative statements about something based off our personal feeling about the team. But if we can look back at all those times that we've done that, you will probably see ultimately some times where you have been proven wrong because it was really based off of your personal opinion and not actually being more objective about it. Because if we are being a little bit more objective about it, we don't know what those picks are going to turn into. We don't know what's going to happen to Micah. We just said it's one play away. Aaron Rodgers was thought to be a great Jet. First play, done. We don't know what can happen, but we do know is it could succeed or they can fail. And to be honest with you, Dallas, even when they had Micah, wasn't exactly the most dominant pass rush. It's interesting that now we are so anointing him at such a high level, but yet last season, playoff games, you clown the guy. Talk about he doesn't show up in playoffs, he doesn't do this. All of a sudden, it's a different tune. I'm not saying that's not your prerogative, you can do what you do, but it's often peculiar to me because I'm like, they weren't that great with him. He was one impact player, but at the end of the day, you do not know. No team looks good in the first month of this year. No team looks good in the first. No team really comes to that. But at the end of the day, they still have an offense. Again, objectively aside, Dakota Prescott does play Philadelphia well. And he did again yesterday. If it wasn't for a couple of drops, they might have won that game. So it's not to say that that team doesn't have talent. Yes, Jalen Carter wasn't there, but they still were able to do the things that they do. I don't know what can happen with Dallas. So when we get to the divisional wildcard winners and stuff like that, I don't want to sit here and say that they won't be able to make it because I know what happens in this league. And I know what happens when people think you can't do it. You never know, you might can do it. Dom, you were just there 3 years ago when y'all went to finish the season like I think 9-8 or almost something like that. You know
and I still want my chain, Dom. Go ahead.
And so at the end of the day, I think they did both exactly what they need to do. I'm curious to see how Dallas is going to turn these picks. I'm curious to see what's going to happen. I'm not going to say they're not going to make it, but I do understand getting rid of something that was never going to get at the end of the road. And I absolutely understand Micah. That's why I sat there and said to the Ravens, I was like, if you really want to try to make it work and make that splash thing, he want to win. We want to win. Bring him over here. I don't care what he's been doing over there. I think he's a good player. Bring him over here. So he goes to a team that wants to win. And now Green Bay actually looks like a potentially dangerous team. So we both go. Both of them got exactly what they needed. So
That's what it is. No, and you know what? I think that right there is more the mystery. Is part of the mystery, which we won't know until the time comes. They did get 2 first-round picks out of it. It's all basically a waiting game to find out who those 2 first-round picks are going to be. But when we return,
Green Bay hasn't had a top 10 pick since 2009. Just remember that.
Yeah, that is insane. But we'll be right back. We're going to pay some bills for like 10 seconds, and then we're going to go on to our next topic. Stay tuned.
Pay some bills? You said pay some bills? Oh, no, you said something else.
And we're back. And now for our next topic. Once again, follow us on all of our socials. We are on Facebook, Instagram, X, and also on I tipped my tongue here. TikTok. We got 2-point special. Sideline Sports and Sideline 1 Sports. We're also here on YouTube. Also, you got Gauntlet Sports Media on YouTube as well, so be sure to follow that. And now we're going to get to our 2025 AFC and NFC division winners and wild card predictions. So, you know what? Let's go ahead and start off with the AFC West on who's going to win the AFC West. And we'll go across in the clockwise manner. Start off with James. Who you got, man?
Hold up. Hold up, is this the way you want to do it, or do you want to do 1 through, or you want to go 1 through 7? Seeding.
Oh, so you want to just do the seeding? Okay, then we can do
We
that.
can do it however you want. We can do it however you want, but you can do either do 1 through 7, or you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, and go all the way around. It's up to you guys.
Just go by division. I think it'll go quicker.
I think 1 through 7 would be faster, but
whichever.
We can do 1 through 7. So, okay, so we do 1 through 7, and all right, cool, sounds good. James, we'll start off with you, man.
okay.
Your phone again.
Your mic cut out.
Everything was good until, but I think the Eagles are gonna take the 1 seed. The Lions take the 2 seed. 3 seed is a toss-up. I'm gonna go with the 49ers, the Red Cowboys. I actually think they win the division this year.
Really?
I think they got the most. I think they got the most talent in the division. So if they lose, then everything I said is true. But I'm taking last year, saying, hey, you got the injuries, so there's no excuse now. I know most people picking the Rams, but we're gonna see. Christian McCaffrey is already injured, so that's also a problem for another show. But if they stay healthy, they should be in the playoff mix, I think. And then the NFC South winner is going to be the 4th seed. I think it's going to be the Buccaneers again, but should be interesting. I think Panthers will be a little bit better. Falcons will be a little bit better. But that's the 1 through 4, and then 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7. I think the Commanders will take one of the spots. I'm going to say Commanders at 6, Green Bay with the 5th seed, and Chicago Bears sneaking in with the 7th seed. I think Caleb Williams is going to be much better with. I think he's going to be much better with Ben Johnson, offensive-minded coach. They got a lot of good players offensively, so I think the Bears are going to sneak in with the number 7 seed.
All right, and then Dom, let's go to your NFC predictions. Who you got?
Hilarious. Eagles 1, Buccaneers 2, Lions 3, Rams 4, the Washington Foreskins 5, Green Bay 6, Seattle 7.
Seattle gets in? Interesting. Okay.
I'll take Seattle 110 times out of 100 over fucking Chicago. Dear Chicago, before you worry
may
about
not be saying that later
not
this
winning the
season,
division,
man.
before you worry about getting a wild card seed, maybe just try to win more games than you lose in a season, because you haven't done
They
that
just
in
got to
about
win like
5
9 or
years.
10 games to get the 7th seed.
True. That's possible. You know what? I was way off and way wrong. Well, as far as my win-loss predictions with the North last year, and I do not think the Bears will finish in last this season, but I was wrong about that last year. I had the Vikings only winning 5 games, and they won fucking 14. So apparently, I don't know shit. So
That's okay.
don't go to FanDuel with my 1 through 7 predictions in the NFC out there, betters. We'll leave that to JJ.
All right. All right, and JJ, who you got 1 through 7 in the National Football Conference?
So actually, I'm going to take Detroit to start a repeat again, because I think there are viable questions to ask about the Philadelphia defense, because they did lose some key pieces, and some key pieces are out, and it's going to take time. I also do think Detroit, despite losing Ben Johnson, they still have Dan Campbell and Dan Campbell's vision and people that they put in place that is similar to the offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators that they had. There are questions on the defense, but that offense is intact. And I do think that they have arguably who I think could become the offensive player of the year in Jahmyr Gibbs. I want to see them feature him more, and I think they will. And when that's going to deal dividends for them, number 1. I got Philly being number 2, because I do think they are neck and neck with Detroit as the best teams in the conference. Number 3, I'm going to take the St. Louis Rams because I also think that team is pretty underrated, and they do have a quarterback that is capable of winning good and big games. He can get 10-win seasons, if not more.
Okay.
Number 4, I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons because I think they are going to win the division because I do like that defense. And I think one of the things that was missing last year was the ability to manage games, to be able to also win games against teams that are, let's say, on the same playing field at the time or less than. I think I believe in Penix, and I think if he is the quarterback that I've seen at Washington, even just a fraction of it his first year, I think he can manage enough games with that defense to win enough in that division to beat out Tampa Bay. Then I'll go with the 5 seed. I actually will go with the Green Bay Packers because I do think that they are outside of the top 4, the best team of the rest of the bunch. Number 6, I'm actually not going to go with the Commanders because I'm actually very curious to see how they're going to be with everybody taking them seriously now. I'm actually going to put them at the 7th seed because I think they'll get in, but I think they will potentially struggle. This 6th seed, I'm not sure about the Vikings.
Not sure?
I'm not
Did
sure.
Baker Mayfield die?
Oh, he didn't die.
Don't make his pick.
I'm just waiting for him to say Tampa, and he's not going to say Tampa. Minnesota.
He don't gotta say Tampa. He can say what the hell he wants.
He can.
Make your pick.
I just want to hear the reason.
Got it. Because I am going to do what I always do and be the solo dolo. Because I do, and I talked to my mom about this yesterday. I think Dallas is going to make it because I think the NFC East is going to be a stronger division this year. And I got Dallas and Washington along with Green Bay as my wild card squads.
All right.
Okay. Hey, you picked my team to finish top in the conference, so I'm not going to hate on anything you said.
All right. And that's your 7, JJ, for the NFC. All right. So for myself, I think the 1 seed. I think we may actually see. This year. I have Philadelphia number 1. I'm at the. No, hang on. Yeah, I'm gonna say Philly number 1, and then Detroit at number 2. The 3 seed, I still have. You know what? The 3 seed, I'm gonna have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers did improve on that offense in the offseason. I like what they're doing there. And me personally, you kind of don't know what Falcons team that you're gonna get in a season nowadays. And we know what the Saints are, the worst quarterback room in the league. So I think it's actually going to be between the Buccaneers and Carolina, in which I got Carolina's my surprise team this year. So I think that the Buccaneers edge it out. Of course, this is a division in which you only need 9 wins to win a division. You figure, right? So but I've got them, and then I got the Rams winning the NFC West and taking the 4th seed. 5th seed, okay, here's where it gets a little bit hairy here. So the 5th seed, I'm actually going to say, let's see here. The 5th seed, I think San Francisco takes number 5. 6th seed, I'm going to say Washington, and 7th seed, Green Bay. And so that's my 7 for the NFC. Let's move on to the AFC. And we'll go on to James. Who is your 1 through 7 for the American Football Conference?
Number 1 seed, I think it's going to be the Buffalo Bills this time. The road to the Super Bowl goes through Buffalo. I think it's going to be their year. I think that Josh Allen got a lot to prove to everybody. Like every year in the playoffs, it just doesn't work out for him against the Chiefs and Mahomes. But I think the Buffalo Bills are going to be sitting in that number 1 seed this year. Then I have the Baltimore Ravens. I think clearly is the best team in the AFC North. I think the pass defense is going to be really good this year. They add Jaire Alexander, just signed Kyle Hamilton to an extension, one of the best safeties in the league. So I think their pass defense is going to be really good. Derrick Henry, Lamar, difficult to stop that duo. So I think it's going to be number 2, Baltimore Ravens with the AFC North. Then I think it's going to be the Chiefs, obviously, going to be the 3 seed winning that division. But the Chiefs, I don't think is going to be as strong as the years past. I think the rest of the AFC is ready for them. And, what we saw in this past Super Bowl is something to be concerned about. Because if you can hit Patrick Mahomes and have an elite defense like that, it happened with the Tampa Bay year, and it also happened with that. Like, there's a way you can expose the Kansas City Chiefs. So I think they're going to take a step back, but still win the division. And then I have the AFC South winner as the Houston Texans. I think that the division is not so competitive. You have the Colts with Daniel Jones, Anthony Richardson, and that whole situation. Jaguars hired a new coach, the offensive coordinator from Tampa. I think the Jaguars are a talented team, but I don't think they are going to be anything serious. So I think the Texans should have no problems cruising to that one. But this is where it gets interesting. In the wild card, I think there's going to be some surprises this year. First one, New England Patriots. I think they get in. Drake May going to show a lot of improvements. I'm excited to see the Patriots this year. Vrabel coming back to an organization he's familiar with. He played here. He knows the Patriot way. So I think there's going to be a lot more stability there than what we really saw with the end of the Bill Belichick era and everything. So I think he's going to be the guy. I think Patriots going to get that number 5 seed. And then I think it's also going to be the Raiders that surprise people as well. I think they got some good players. I think Genty coming in, and as I said with Vrabel, you also got an experienced coach like Carroll, and Geno Smith. He is an experienced quarterback. He's much better than the Raiders have had. I think the Raiders going to get in. I don't know if they're going to be 6 or 7. I'm going to say Raiders with the 7th seed. And my 6th seed going to be the Denver Broncos. They're going to continue with last year. Bo Nix coming in, some more improvement there. And I think the AFC West going to have 3 teams, but not the teams you expect. The Chargers not going to get in.
If I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head, isn't the AFC West currently the only division in football where all 4 head coaches have made a Super Bowl as head coaches?
Yeah.
Carroll, Jim Harbaugh, Reed, and Sean Payton. Yeah.
Yep.
Never knew that.
I love that James left the Chargers out. I fucking love it.
So James has the
I don't think the
AFC
Chargers
West sending
gonna
3
do
teams
anything.
to the postseason for the 2nd straight year, but the Chargers will be the outlier. Dom, who do you got 1 through 7 for the AFC?
1 seed Buffalo, 2 seed Baltimore, 3 seed Chiefs, 4 seed Texans, and the wild cards. I'm not sure on the particular seeding, but I see New England, like James said. I've said since the beginning of last year. Well, no, since the end of last year, I said Patriots are making the playoffs next season. Like, I'm sold on them. I like Drake May. I kind of get a little nervous about quarterbacks from basketball schools, but Drake May looks to be the best one of the bunch in quite some time. I don't want to say since like Drew Brees, because that's a lofty goal. But I really can't think of a lot of other really good quarterbacks from basketball schools between Brees and now Drake May. Okay, so that's one. Who else?
By the way, it was a quarterback from that same basketball school that handed us our first playoff win in the franchise. When TJ Yates.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot about Yates. I mean, he wouldn't even have started if your starter would have been healthy.
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought. What did I name? One wild card.
Wild
Not
cards.
the
You're on the 5th seed.
Steelers. I can't say the Bengals. They can't stop a nosebleed on defense, even with Trey Hendrickson back. I can't. There's a lot of people picking the Chargers to win that division. I'm not one of them. Denver, probably. I don't know about the Oakland, LA, Oakland, LA Raiders. I like Giannis, and obviously I'm in love for Eugene Stroudsburg the third, but I don't think they're going to the playoffs.
Hey, hang on a second, Dom. Hey, JJ, try leaving and coming back. I don't know if you're playing the feed on two different things, but we're getting feedback. Okay. All right, go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
Who does that leave?
You just call him John.
You did.
Did I call him John?
I'm insulted.
I thought I said
Dom. He said John.
Wow.
Did I say John? My bad. Dom, go ahead, man.
The disrespect, and we're still in our season premiere. I don't know. That threw me off so badly. I don't know who my seventh team is. I don't know. I'm good with 6, I guess. I really don't know. Though. Like, I can't say the Chargers.
It's not me. Somebody else.
You're still kind of scratchy, dude.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're on a walkie-talkie in a bomb shelter. Let's try that again.
Just see if he can go into his computer or something. Whoa.
Oh.
What? Oh, no, he's watching TV. Okay, so until DJ
got the catcher totally missed it, and the ump got hit in the knuckle by like a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Ooh,
like bare knuckle. Yeah.
Oh no, that's good. Okay, so
Bengals for the 7th one. Don't ask me why. Joe Burrow, because Joe Burrow.
All right, Burrow returns to the playoffs at number 7. Okay, so my number 1 seed, I'm gonna take the Bills. It's about that time for the Bills to go crashing through if this is their year. Let me see if.
No.
Good. Perfect. All right.
Woo!
Okay.
That music is still going on.
Mm-hmm. What music?
That's because he's playing.
Yeah, we have background music, man.
I never heard it until now.
Oh wow.
I haven't heard it at all. There's music.
Hey, we'll move on to JJ. Give us your 1 through 7 in the AFC.
Okay. I really don't want to.
Don't move it. Don't move the phone. Because when you move the phone, shit happens. Leave it there.
Calm
Hands
down.
free. Hands right to him.
Calm down.
You good, JJ. Go ahead, man.
I do think that my team is going to finish as the best team in the AFC because I do like the addition of Jair Alexander. Of course, his health matters, but I do like another year in Zach Orr's system, and we're not going to make the mistake of playing Kyle Hamilton up front, which was we was experimenting when he was figuring it out. I think with us understanding who we are, where we are going to be the number 1 team here in the AFC. Number 2, I am going to go with the Buffalo Bills because I do think that they are also a team poised to make a potentially deep run to go to the postseason. And they have a quarterback who is, him and Lamar are neck and neck. I was just in the Facebook group that was ranking but people, the consensus thing are the top 25 quarterbacks. And those 2 finished, well, they were basing it off how they finished last season going into this season, and both of those guys finished top 2, other than we rounded out by Mahomes, Burrow, and Hurts. And so at the end of the day, I'm looking for, I think they're going to do pretty well.
Playoffs? Is that the group they're in?
Huh?
I said MVP quarterbacks that can't beat Mahomes in the playoffs. Is that the group they're in?
I mean, why do you have to interrupt? I don't. I really like. Why do you have to? I'm not for that energy, bro. Like, not for it at all. Like,
kidding. I mean, I'm 100% serious, but I'm just fucking with you.
But the thing is, I don't need that. I didn't jump into your stuff and talking. I'm not the trash talking.
Oh boy, let it go.
I would, but I just don't want you to interrupt when I'm talking. Like, I didn't interrupt you. Just don't interrupt me. That's all. We're cool. Now, going back, I do think number 3 is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs because I do believe in them, and I do think that they are still the best team in that comp division, even though it's pretty tough. Number 4, I'll go with the Houston Texans. I don't really like that division. I don't really think that any team stands out like that. I do think we're going to see a much improved C.J. Stroud if that offensive line is going to perform. And number 5, I do got the LA Chargers because I do believe in my brother. My brother made it last year. And typically, if you follow his record, when he makes the playoffs, he kind of tends to improve the next year. They do have their guys. They made some good splashes, but we're going to see. And I do think they're going to finish with the 5 seed. Number 6, I am going to go the New England Patriots as well. I like Drake May. I don't think he's being talked about as a potential sleeper for a very good year because we've seen how Ryan Tannehill was looking like a decent quarterback under Mike Vrabel's system with a strong running game. The running game may be a question, but they do run the football. I think they still have Ramondre Stevenson and a couple other players. I like them. I think Drake May and them are going to do everything. I can see them being 10-7. And then I actually think the Cincinnati Bengals are going to get that 7th seed because I think at the end of the day, I don't think their defense is good. Yes, their defense is not good. They know that. But I do think that they will get a little bit better. And I think the one thing that they're going to focus on that I read is they're looking to try to force turnovers. When you look at the teams that they made to the playoffs, those teams have never been really good defense. So last year was predominantly bad too because they were a bad defense and they weren't causing turnovers. If they can cause turnovers, they can get to that postseason. And I think they're going to finish up and get that 10-7 record. So that's my 7.
All right. Okay, and so with that being said,
What's that comment say?
little shout out to JJ there.
Again, I'm not really caring.
Too late. He saw it.
Like, I don't really care. Like, good job. Next person. Give your pick. Let's go.
All right, real quick.
We're all done.
One to a brick wall.
When I've got the
It's a
Buffalo
bit of an
Bills.
old bit.
The Buffalo Bills.
Okay, real quick before we move to the non-sports topic, Super Bowl prediction right now. Two teams.
I didn't give him a 7.
Oh, you didn't give yours yet?
No, not yet.
Cut this man off.
But no, it's cool. I'll be quick. I'll be quick because mine
Well, you
is
started yours, but you didn't finish it.
I got Buffalo number 1, Ravens number 2. I'm going to go a bit bold and go Texans number 3. If we can win some big games, that may put us over the 3 mark, but I don't see us hitting the top 2 just yet. 4, Kansas City. I think they take 2 steps back this year, but they are still the Kansas City Chiefs, and if you let Mahomes in the playoffs, anything can happen. 5 seed, I've got the Denver Broncos. I think they keep things rolling from last season with Bo Nix. Him and Sean Payton are having that QB coach report going on that did numbers last season. 6 seed, I've got New England. I think Drake May and Mike Vrabel will do some things. 7 seed, woo! Something in my spirit told me to go bold and say Tennessee was going to be a shock team in the AFC.
Ooh.
They got a stinky
Has
defense.
there ever been a 1-1 pick that's been less talked about than Cam Ward? I don't recall a time in my life. I ain't heard shit about Cam Ward.
Dude,
Not
I
a
said it
fucking
during
thing.
the draft. I said Cam Ward was the number 1 overall, and all the talk was on Shadur Sanders. Tyler Show got more talk than Cam Ward did. It was
Right.
insane. Dude, Warren Moon surprised Cam Ward at a press conference. He brought his number 1 out of retirement and allowed Cam Ward to wear it. Got 0 press. No press at all. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to go bold. I'm going to say Tennessee takes the 7th seed. Stingy defense. Cam might have a bit of a breakout season. And if I'm wrong, fuck it. But I got Tennessee taking number 7. And when we come back, okay. And when we come back, we will move on to our non-sports topic. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. I've been waiting on this shiggity shit all day. This is our non-sports topic, and y'all know I was going to go the music route, so here we go. So actually, I was inspired by, it actually was an interview that Nelly did sometime last year, and he said that the most competitive time, the most competitive era in hip-hop was the 2000s. He said it was him, Jay-Z, Nas, 50 Cent, DMX, Ludacris, Eminem, all fighting for the number 1 spot. So that's my question for the panel. What was the most competitive, not best era, the most competitive era in hip-hop? I'm going to say 90s, 2000s, and then we'll stop at 2010s. Now, here's some notable names here, okay? The 90s, of course, you had Tupac, Biggie, you had the emergence of Busta Rhymes, you had the Wu-Tang Clan, Bone Thugs and Harmony, you know, just to name a few. Then you had all the names down there in the 2000s. Then there's also a guy named Lil Wayne who emerged in the 2000s as well. 2010s, once again, you got Lil Wayne. Then you got a Nicki Minaj, you got Drake, Kendrick Lamar, Rick Ross, Future. So, with that being said, I'll start off with James here. Which one do you think was the most competitive era? If you don't pick the 2000s, which one do you have?
It's hard. I think that it should automatically go to the 90s because when you go to talking about history, Biggie versus Tupac is the greatest rivalry of all time. So I think it automatically trumps anything else. But I think the 2000s have a lot more variety of artists that were all great at the same time. Where I think like those two were kind of ahead of everyone else in the 90s. So I think 2000 more well-rounded. So that's my response to the question.
You know what? You actually brought an angle to this that I didn't even think about. Because, and of course, all angles are welcome here. But I was looking at it from a standpoint of, fighting for the number one spot, the number one rapper in the game, number one album and such, doing, some big numbers. Let my album do better numbers than yours and him and hers and him, right? You're looking at it competitive from a rap feud perspective, which, okay, I definitely can mess with that. Okay, Dom, what do you got, man? You have the 2000s as the most competitive, or do you have a better era like the 90s or the 2010s? Now, mind you, this is competitive. Competition
Right.
here.
I would
The
say
stiffest competition.
I would say the 2000s just by a hair. One thing that I don't think anyone necessarily forgot about, but was not mentioned from the 90s, you also had No Limit versus Cash Money.
That is true, yes.
Tupac
And
and
the Rough
Biggie,
Rider.
East versus West. Kind of like James said, that was a great rivalry. Plus, that was, rap was around in the 80s, but the 90s is really when it popped off. Your Dr. Dre's, your Snoop Dogg's. So I got the 2000s by a hair, just because you had like that, and the crazy thing is, like the peak of rap and hip hop to me, it was right around the turn of the millennium, like 99, 2000, somewhere in there, between 98 and 2002. So I could go either way, but I got the 2000s just by a hair.
Okay. All right, then. Now, I'm not going to say the 2020s because I don't see it as competitive nowadays. It's kind of like everyone just wants to go viral, right? You know what I'm saying? But we'll swing it to JJ. What do you have as the more competitive era, if not the 2000s? Or maybe you do pick the 2000s.
I'm actually going to remix it and go 95 to 2005 for me, because I remember wishing I was an adult in the 90s, particularly in the 95 to 2000 when Not Tonight by Lil' Kim came out. You had Fantasy by Mariah Carey. You had so many other songs that came out for me. I'm looking at it in a different aspect of not just, because hip hop to me is not just rap. Hip hop to me is rap, the girls coming in with the pop. So I'm looking at it from that perspective. For me, it's 95 to 2005, because then Destiny's Child came out in 98 with Naughty by Nature rapping up with them. And then you had TLC going through the 90s and the 2000s. And then you also had Beyonce branching off for herself, doing the dang thing. And you also had Jay-Z doing his thing. You had 99 with Juvenile coming out again. Then you had the big times in 2002 that were doing their thing along with 3LW. Then you had Loon, and you had P. He was crazy. He was transitioning from Puffy to P. Diddy, and they were still making music. R. Kelly, as crazy as he was still making bomb hits. Ignition was 2002, but then he had the 90s too, towards the late 90s, and Mary J, Family Affair, all those was in the late 90s to early 2000s. And so it's like, for me, Aaliyah, late 90s, early 2000s, we always talk about how if Aaliyah was around, she'd be better than Beyonce. If you're considered better than Beyonce, you're considered the best woman in the freaking world, which was topping Mariah at that time. So I think 95 to 2005 is, for me, the best time, because I remember being a kid and I danced to everything. I used to wish there was a night in this world, in my 20s, from everybody jamming in 95 to 2005, so I could do all the moves that I said I wanted to do. And I was practicing.
And you were born 10 years too late?
Not at all. Like, let me tell you.
I was just saying, because you said you wish you were a grown-up in that era. So you were born 10 years too late.
Yeah. I wish I was a grown-up in that era, because trust and believe, especially if I was turned out to be the me Oh, y'all had some fun, but I like 95 2005.
Indeed. So you really pretty much got it split. You've got the second half of the 90s and then the first half of the 2000s.
Yep.
I'm with JJ, honestly. He nailed it.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
definitely not a bad take at all. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, if we're looking at it from, because James did bring a new perspective into this one. If we're looking at from a rap feud perspective, definitely the 1990s, because you didn't just have Pac versus Biggie. You had, Under the Table, No Limit versus Cash Money. You had Wu-Tang, and Biggie had theirs. Biggie and Nas had a feud going on. I mean, it was just crazy. Yeah, Puff Daddy and Bad Boy and Death Row. So Puffy and Suge. Then also
Puffy didn't feud with anyone. He had people killed.
Allegedly, but anyway,
with all the news about Puffy, they need to go. I always hate going this way because I don't like going.
And you know what?
I don't like going LGBTQ route. I never really like going LGBTQ route because I am LGBTQ and I feel like I hear it enough with my friends and it kind of annoys me. But I need to go back and check out some of them rap artists like Loon, Shine, all of them motherfuckers back with Puff Daddy, P. Diddy back in them days. Because the videos I seen were back in them days. Okay.
No, I hear you, man.
R. Kelly got the girls on lock, but we know who got the dudes on lock.
Okay. Anyhow, back in the 90s,
Exhibit.
you also had, if you're talking about Exhibit, he's more of a 2000s guy, but
but he was with Diddy around that time. Faizon, what's his name? Faizon Bentley or Farnsworth Bentley? Dipped out.
Oh, that must be something I gotta look up. But yeah, and also if you and I know you remember this one, Dom. If you're talking about faction versus faction, you have Bone Thugs and Harmony versus 3 6 Mafia. So if you're looking at it from a rap feud standpoint, now as far as
the feuds in the 90s were better. The competition in the 2000s.
The competition in the 2000s. That's just where I'm headed. If you talk about, I'm just trying to be the top rapper in the game. I'm just trying to have the number one album consistently over and over and over again. Just imagine coming in the 2000s, and this is Murderer's Row. Jay-Z, Nas, 50, M, DMX, Luda, Nelly. Like, you going against all of them, right? And mind you, keep in mind, 50 Cent came in 02, 03. So he had to go against Jay, Nas, DMX, Luda, even the guy who put him on, Eminem, even though they was all one team. But yeah, no, I definitely will. I agree that the 2000s was the most competitive. 2010s, you kind of saw the competition aspect kind of die down a little bit with the emergence of social media and everything like that. And now in the 2020s, this is not even competitive. Everybody just trying to go viral and everyone fucking sounds the same. So it is what it is. But that's our show, ladies and gentlemen, because this damn Chiefs Chargers game about to come on. I know y'all trying to get to that. We like to thank everybody for tuning in to our it's on YouTube, y'all. I got it on right now. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to
it's on regular cable.
Yeah, just go to YouTube and it's on YouTube. Like everybody got YouTube, bro. But
it's not on regular cable?
No, it's on YouTube.
Oh, that sucks.
It's literally.
I can't believe they're not charging.
Bro, YouTube.
I got you. I'm gonna go.
I thought it was on YouTube TV.
I don't have to have an account with YouTube, do I?
What? No,
no. You might as well create one though. But no, you should just be able to go on there and find it. I thought it was on YouTube TV. I guess I was wrong. I'm fucking shocked. Bacon Grizzler.
Yep.
All right, well, I will talk with y'all later then. Let me try to
get the rappers in the 90s didn't care as much about having the best album. It seemed like the 2000s was when rappers actually started to prioritize.
The rappers in the 90s
were probably more competitive. I actually agree with that.
Yep.
Yeah, no.
The rappers in the 90s was all about trying to murder each other. That's what they was
exactly.
About.
Yeah.
What's it called? Source Awards?
That's real competition right there.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, Source Awards 95 is like the most infamous event of all time. The most infamous event of all time. That right there should let you know. But
it's the same thing what they say about the NBA. Like all these players taking pictures with each other and trading jerseys and all that. They didn't do that in the 90s and everything. They hated each other. The same thing.
It was kickboxing on the court. Yeah, but that's our show. Everyone, thanks for tuning in to the Gauntlet season premiere. G5 is coming at you all the way live. Myself, JT, JJ, and the prodigal son himself, Dom DeRubeis. We will see you all next week for more Gauntlet 5th season.
Shout out
Good
Craig
night.
Marshall
Good
and my
night,
Uncle
Sao
Mitchell
Paulo.
King fan.
Shout out Craig and Davis Marshall. Craig Davis, happy belated birthday. Well, I wish you happy birthday 2 nights ago, you know what I'm saying? But happy birthday. Shout out Craig Davis Marshall Hill. Good night, Hong Kong, China.
Hong Kong is a separate country. Good night, Sao Paulo. Or good